Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'd like to showcase this iconic collectible. This is the T-800 Endoskull bust from Sideshow Collectibles in conjunction with Stan Winston Studios. This is an old piece. It was one of the original collectibles created when Stan Winston Studios first partnered with Sideshow Collectibles, along with other pieces from movies like Aliens and Predator, for instance. Now, being done with Stan Winston Studios, there is the unmistakable aura of authenticity with this piece. It's after all done by the same special effects company that created the original endoskeleton. There are many, many different versions of this bust. Even in 2017, 2018, there are versions of this being sold from various properties and movies like Terminator Genesis. But in my opinion, this is still my favorite. It's still the best. I'm not an endoskull expert by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know if this is the most accurate. There were some kits out there that some people claim to be the most accurate. There are ones out there with perhaps better teeth. But for my money, because of all the elements it brings together, this is still my favorite. This is still what I consider the best endoskull bust out there. Now, why is that? Well, number one, this entire thing is actually chromed, which is a really big deal. Normally, you don't really chrome collectibles or statues, and in today's day and age, it's essentially almost never done. I think the last collectible that I reviewed, which is the H.R. Giger Lifesize alien bust, had chrome teeth. That made a huge difference in the presence of that piece, and I think I mentioned in that review how remarkable it was that decision was actually made. And why do companies hate chroming? Well, they learned early on, and they actually learned with pieces like this, done almost 10 plus years ago, that chroming a collectible is a very, very difficult thing to do well. Unless you're in the automotive industry, where you have factories specifically made to do this process, it costs a lot of money to do the electroplating necessary to do it correctly, and flaws and scratches show up extremely easily. There were a lot of, I think, dissatisfied customers, and so actually, in the middle of the chrome run, Sideshow stopped it and went exclusively battle damage. And battle damage obviously has a lot more of the paint, of the black scorch marks, things like that. You can hide imperfections a lot more easily. And that actually is the more common version of this. Another interesting thing is this was done back in the day when Sideshow did not number their collectibles, which is, you can imagine, completely different than what's being done today. Every collectible today has a limited edition, it's numbered, they're often certificates. But back then, the world of collectibles was essentially in its infancy. And Sideshow never felt the need to do that. They said it was limited. When they stopped making it, and they didn't put a number on the undersurface of it. And so the originals of these, there are no numbers, at least with these chromed versions. However, they are very, very rare. And Sideshow did not make an infinite number of these. And back then, for the price point, there weren't a lot of people who bought them. So if you have one of these, it is a very, very unique and rare collectible to be treasured. So the chrome, the partnership with Stan Winston Studios, and then I had mentioned the different effects, all the different elements. So let's examine them a little bit. So first I'm gonna go deep, close up. Here's the nameplate, T2 Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Nice touch, I don't mind it. Some people don't like nameplates. They feel like the piece should just stand by themselves, by itself. But you know, even though everyone knows that this is the T-800, I think it's still nice to have a little bit of a plaque or a sign to showcase that off. I think all of this is electroplated chrome. As you can see, it's clean, it's very shiny, the light reflects off of it. Doing a quick turnaround of the base. Now over here is the on-off switch. If you flick it on, the lights should turn on, and it does. As you can see, they're very, very nice and bright, very red. A lot of times, sometimes collectibles have really cheap looking lights. They're dull or they're not very bright. But let me tell you, back in those days, Sideshow really didn't skimp, or the factories were a lot cheaper. This is amazing. This is over 10 years old. I think my battery's been in it for 5 years, still working, amazing looking, really, really bright. It feels like it just came out of the movie. So that's a great effect right there. Great shot. Look a little bit closer here. And I gotta tell you that chrome makes a big difference. I mean, it really makes it look like it's metal. It feels like metal. Unfortunately, on the video, you can't actually convey that, but it feels cool to the touch. It feels like you actually have a replica of that endoskull in your house. So let's take a look here at some of the details. I'm gonna be working from the bottom up. Here you can see the holes of the wire. This is supposed to be the metallic version of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Going all the way up here to the metallic mastoid area. You can see all the pistons right here. You can see the metal vertebra. All of that. And then of course, the skull itself. What an amazing design by Stan Winston Studios and James Cameron. Here you can take a look at some of the detail here on the parietal area, the temple area, all of that. You can see the jaw right here. All the little pistons. Another detail on the other side. Now, from this shot, I hope you can appreciate, I have the flash on so you can see the light reflecting off the chrome surface. I hope you can appreciate here, there's a little bit of this bluish, purplish aura or halo off of this area. Okay, that's not a trick of the light. That's not diffraction or anything like that. That's actually purposefully placed just there. And all of the chrome endoskulls have these highlights in the same place. This is how you know that you have an authentic, real, original chrome endoskull. Because what happened is that after collectors got the cheaper battle damage version, they wanted to get the clean one. And they found that by taking some steel fine grade wool and by investing many, many hours of manpower, they were actually able to remove all of the battle damage, all of that grime, and actually get it right down to the base, like metal, and you could have a shiny endoskull from a battle damage endoskull. But if you created a shiny endoskull from the battle damage version, you will not have this purple bluish like highlight. The repurposed ones do not have that. And that is one of the ways you're able to tell that you have an original. And you can kind of see a little bit of the same thing right here, that little bluish tinge. Again, right here as well, a little bit blue. This is not a trick of the light, not a trick of the flash. It's actually incorporated into the actual piece itself, okay? So something, anyway, interesting to know in case you are wondering. So one of the knocks against the Sideshow version is that the teeth is not as good as it could be. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at it. I think it looks fine. I think it looks great. It even has Arnold's kind of trademark gap between the teeth, which I think is hilarious, but that's there too. I have no complaints about the teeth. Again, just looking at it, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So let's talk about the elements. One of the amazing things that I really love about this, and again, I mentioned it in my review of the Sideshow Arnold Battle Damage Bust, is that these huge bright red eyes, when you turn them off, it doesn't just switch off, it actually slowly fades away. Just like how the light faded at the end of Terminator 1 when Sarah Connor used the hydraulic press to crush the endoskull to death. So I'm going to demonstrate that. And by the way, with the lights on, if you go close enough, you can again see the detail of those eyes. All the little prisms in the orb. I mean, that's the sort of detail that really modern day companies just don't do that much of without charging arm and a leg, because again, everything has just gotten so expensive. But just look at that quality back there, that's amazing. So look at the eyes, here we go. And then just pretend that Sarah Connor pressed the hydraulic button and just crushed the Terminator. Here goes. Isn't that awesome? It doesn't turn off immediately. And not only does it not turn off, you go for a few seconds, quite a few seconds, before it slowly fades away. So that's an awesome effect. It's an amazing effect. If you flick it back on, it turns right back on, and you flick it off, it takes a few seconds again. So they invested in a little bit of circuitry to make that happen, and that's greatly appreciated. Another thing about this piece is it's really heavy. I think it's got to be probably about 15 to 20 pounds. I don't think it's 20, but it's got to be 15. It's very difficult to lift it up one-handed. It takes two hands to lift it up. So there's definitely a lot of weight to the piece to make the inside, the electronics, and the wiring steady and secure. So this alone would be like an amazing thing to have. You know, just the whole Stan Winston Studios, the chrome, the eyes, the detail, the teeth. But here it is, the most amazing thing of all, right? Remember that scene from Terminator 2 where they actually take the chip out and they reprogram it, and there's this motor weakness where Sarah Connor was thinking about destroying it. So there's that iconic scene from the movie. So Sideshow and Stan Winston Studios actually replicated it in this skull. This is one of the few skulls, maybe the only skull, that has it to this degree. You can actually take the port off. Just like that, okay? Take that off. And then you can actually take this whole thing out. Now, you could carefully lift it right up, just like in the movie. But if you have some trouble, it's magnetized, and this is where this little key comes out. Believe it or not, this is actually on a keychain. Like, I don't know, they actually thought that you would put this on a keychain. But anyways, this comes with the statue. You actually can magnetize it and then quite easily lift it up, just like that. So everything's magnetized. I'll put this key down. So basically, you actually have the chip inside the CPU unit. So I'm gonna take a look in here. So you can actually see the inside of that. I mean, how cool is that? So again, the whole thing can lift up. This is all magnetized. Take that away, and then you actually have the chip. Now, this is not metal, by the way. This is like resin or something. But that's an amazing amount of detail to go into, where they actually replicated and cast the internal chamber where the chip resides, as well as, you know, the port to it. And I don't think any other endoskeleton really has something like that. Maybe one of the kits, but for a kit, you still have to chrome it, and you're not chroming a kit, okay? You would have to pay a lot of money to get that done, thousands. So, in my opinion, this has the total package. You know, it's got a, you know, A-level, first-class accuracy. Stan Winston Studios approved, original partnership with Sideshow, chromed, light-up eyes, slow fade, exhaust port, microchip. It's got the whole 9 yards. It's basically the next best thing to having the original endoskeleton in the movie, but in your house. How many of these were made before they discontinued it? It's anybody's guess. I can't imagine there'd be more than a couple hundred of these. The battle damage ones are definitely much more attainable and much more common. Be careful of recasts out there, be careful of fakes, and be careful of battle damaged endoskull busts masquerading as clean ones because they've been cleaned. And like I said, hopefully with this review, with this video, you can appreciate that sheen on certain areas of the skull, which tell you it's an original chrome. And again, you can tell right here, and you can tell right here, right here. Hopefully all of that you can tell. So yeah, you know, they made quite a few in the line. I also have the TX bust as well. I also have the endoskeleton's arm. So I'll go through some of those, do video reviews and videos of some of those. But again, just looking at this, it is an awe-inspiring piece. And I know it's a little bit cliche, but man, when you look at this, you realize they just don't make them like they used to. It is fantastic. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you can appreciate that. Oh, in terms of price point, I don't really know how much this sells for anymore. When Sideshow first sold it, I think they sold it for like $500. It wasn't too bad. And I think at its peak, this thing was going for anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. So an original chrome endoskeleton bust without any scratches or problems, I don't know how it would go for. But the battle damaged one, there's a lot of, because they never closed the edition. See, they stopped making the chrome one, but the battle damage one, they didn't stop making because it was so popular. People were still buying it, and they were cleaning it. There was a big market for that, and people were buying it for many, many years. And so I think there's quite a lot of battle damaged endoskull busts out there. But again, an original chrome one, much, much rarer. And I think if you find one for less than $1,000, it's a great deal. You should jump on it if this is something that you're interested in. So again, thanks for watching, and until the next time, take care.